Hi guys, I'm Arabella. I'm an award-winning author, and today we are going to talk about how to write a kick-ass fight scene. Let's get into it. And before we start, don't forget to hit that like button. Step one in creating a really awesome fight scene is that you have to realize what is going on in your character's head. Okay, they are not doing their grocery list. They're not thinking about how hot or gorgeous their opponent is. Their thoughts are coming in fast. You do not want long explanations of dialogue here. You want short, snappy thoughts, short, snappy sentences if they're communicating with each other, and definitely no navel gazing or like going on and on with exposition. And like I said, speaking of dialogue, you want there to be some dialogue. That brings it to life. You want them to be like maybe talking shit to each other a little bit, but you don't want this to be a long drawn out thing. It's going to be more like, oh, well, that was a piece of shit throw, you little bitch, or, you know, something like that. But just short, snappy, fun, witty, just talking smack to their opponents, or whatever you would like. Just make sure that they say something to each other. I also recommend the way you structure your sentences to be varying. Short sentences, a little bit longer, short, longer. Just kind of give it movement, give it rhythm and poetry. Don't make it like Stan hit them, Dave hit them, Stan hit Dave did. You don't want it to just be like blank, 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 you know, just like the same thing. Don't start your sentences with the same thing. It gets so old so fast. Don't forget to hit that follow button, and I'll see you in part 2. Hi guys, this is part 2 on how to write a kick-ass fight scene. Hit that follow button and let's get into it. So one of the biggest tips I think that really makes a cool fight scene is the setting. You really want to set your stage, and the way that this matters is that you want to set the stage, but you want to tell your audience only what's like important, what's pertinent, what's going to be used in the fight. Like, for example, is there going to be sand that can be thrown in the enemy's eyes? Is there a pool of water that can drown them? What is around the characters fighting that each character can use against the other, and how that plays into it? Like, let's say someone is fighting at a bookstore or in a library. You can't tell me they won't pick up Crescent City and bonk someone on the head with it. That is the kind of stuff I'm talking about. Another tip that people really don't pay attention to is the power dynamics between characters. Who is David and who is Goliath? How does the person who is the David, who is, you know, the one underestimated, or the person who isn't going to win, I can't think of the word for it, but the person who is at the most disadvantage. So how are they going to figure out the way to win? How is the person with the power, how do they use that power against their opponent? Are there other people watching the fight? Are they rooting for one person and not the other? How would that feel if your character's the one who is not only at a disadvantage, but they have like a stadium full of people rooting for them to fail? Another tip is to take into account what kind of fight this really is. Is this a simple bar fight, or is this a fight to the death? Like, that changes things. The stakes change things. What happens if they lose? Are there repercussions? Do they lose their lives? Does someone they love lose their lives? Like, what is going on in this specific battle that makes it important? And last but not least, my favorite tip of all, and if you love these tips, hit that follow button. But when we write fight scenes, man, you want to get like visceral about it. This stuff is dirty. It smells. It's gross. The sounds, the slaps, the gore, like it all, you know, pertains to like the category that you're writing in. If you're writing adult versus young adult, that obviously makes a difference, but really pull out those sensory details that really immerse the reader. That's gonna make your fight scene badass.